Okay, so hello, my name is Andrew Lee, and today I'm gonna present the summarize of chapter 2, 3, and 4. And the book I'm gonna present today is called 台湾建国学. It's a really, fun book, and I really enjoy during the, reading times. So hopefully you will like it. Yeah, so let's start it. So now let's start it from the chapter 2. So the One China consists so the One China concepts come from the idea that China is unified under one government. So after the United Nations resolutions, 2758 was passed. The People Republic of China replaced the Republic of China as the legitimate representative of China. So the China Principle limits Taiwan internationally rules and recognitions, and dispute over sovereignties increased tensions between China and Taiwan. So in this kind of situations, they were talking about the difference between the China and Taiwan. So back in the age of like 1970s and even before then, Taiwan is actually one of the member of UN, which is kind of incredible. And but due to the reasons of People Republic of China, which is because China had have a strong bigger land and have can produce more economies, and so they forced the UN um to allow them to replace Taiwan to become one of the UN member, because Republic of China only can one of the country get into the UN. They cannot have like two countries that have the same name, which is Republic of China. So that is the reason why Taiwan got kicked out by the UN. So the PRC never applied to join the United Nations. So as I mentioned before, Taiwan got kicked out by the UN. So the motion is come from the change in UN membership. So originally, the Republic of China held China's seat at the UN, which is the resolutions 2758. And PRC position is kind of um, not a bit confused that time. So the PRC argued that it always represents China and did not need to apply for an UN's membership, and the impact and dispute of this has led to Taiwan become more isolation internationally. So according to the perspective of China governments, they think that because they are China, so they don't have to apply for to get a UN membership, because they are the countries. They're the country. They are not the fake one. They think that Taiwan is the fake one. So they think that they don't have to apply, and the UN should allow and willing them to join the UN membership. So that is the reason why Taiwan got kicked out by the UN. So the PRC represent the ROC. So the first is the reality after 1971. So after resolutions 2758, the RC lost its UN seat. So as I mentioned before, in the PRC legitimacy, so the PRC claimed that it represents all of China, including Taiwan. So which means in this kind of circumstance, China believed that Taiwan is one of the cities in China, or one of the states. So they they couldn't get the seat, because they are just a state, not a country. And on the both side view, so the PRC insists on the one China policy and oppose ideas like two China or one China, one Taiwan. So in the perspective, we will say China believed that Taiwan and China is the same countries, and the UN also believe that. But in Taiwan, there's like Taiwan government perspective, we believe that is a one China and one Taiwan policy. And I think the reason why we got kicked out is because we are kind of confused about our country names. So in a lot of countries, our name is called Republic of China, which is not Taiwan. And because this is like Republic of China is um the name that is been public like when the back in the the China world, Cold World. And this is kind of hard to change because um you know this is the name of Republic of China is in the law. So if we want to change it, we have to change the law and that the other country know is Taiwan. And that is the another reason why UN kick us out from the membership because we got this Republic of China and it is kind of complex to the people of Republic of China. So if Taiwan can just lose the name of Republic of China and change it to Taiwan, I think it will be better because it will be so because China cannot say again to the issue of one China policy because we are no longer China anymore. We are Taiwan now. We changed the name. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about the other paragraph. So for the paragraph 426, so the key point will be international recognitions of one China. So global acceptance of Beijing as China's legitimate government. And Taiwan's sovereignty face restrictions due to this framework. And the impact on Taiwan will be PRC claim Taiwan as part of one China and limits Taiwan international recognitions and identities. And ROC position in Taiwan. So ROC governments in Taiwan indirectly support one China. So, critics argue this undermines Taiwan sovereignty. So in this kind of situation, we have two main party in Taiwan right now, which one of them called 国民党 and one of them called 民进党. So 国民党 is trying to having a really tight connections with the China government. On the other hand, 民进党 was trying to separate Taiwan and China as a different country, to show it's a different country. So in my own perspective, I support 民进党 because I think we couldn't stay in these positions longer because we stay in this position longer, it just make our position become much more difficult than the usual. And clarify national identity. So decide between ROC framework or a distinct Taiwanese identities, break the one China narrative, so promote one China, one policy to shape global perceptions. And global support will be strengthened alliance of and clarify aspirations for independence. And for finally, the public awareness. So education citizens on one China policy implicates and Taiwan's options. So in this kind of situation, we have to let the country know, other nations know which one is Taiwan and which one is China. So they have to understand the difference between Taiwan and China. So that is kind of really simple, which is making it. And now I'm going to talk about the global support, stronger supporters of Taiwan. So the first one will be United States. So Taiwan's stronger supporters will adherence to the One China policies. The U.S. advocate for Taiwan participations in organizations like the WHA and ICAO. The Taipei Acts highlight U.S. So U.S. are the main supporters to Taiwan. And another reason why is because they want to fight with the China government. It's not because they love Taiwan. It's because they want to fight with the China government because China is getting like stronger every year. And in this kind of circumstance, I would say, USA is kind of trying to shows the difference between Taiwan and China. For this is really clear, and then they asked us to join some organizations such as WHA and ICAO. So those two are not really big organizations compared to the UN or the WHO. But I would say, if we want to get more recognitions to the nations, we have to join a lot of small organizations and shows how the other membership in that organization, that how good is Taiwan and how impactful is Taiwan and how can Taiwan government or just Taiwan can bring to their countries. And the next supporter will be Japan's. So supporter Taiwan inclusions in health and innovations organizations recognizing its contributions to global challenge like COVID-19. So I will say, it's been a really long year that um Japan has a really close tie with Taiwan. So um Japan is really trying to help us in different kind of perspective. So for example, during the COVID-19, Taiwan make a really decent I'll say really decent job on control the 病例uh of the in Taiwan, Bini in Taiwan. So this is a really incredible thing because at that time, at that period, like a lot of different country got inventions of that pandemic, and which is really hurt for their economy. But Taiwan can kind of maintain really well because they lock down the city like when the pandemic was start to grow, and it actually kind of helped Taiwan get more recognitions in the global because other countries trying to learn from Taiwan during the how to solve the questions of pandemic. And now I'm gonna talk about another state, which is the European Union, which is the EU. So I'll say EU is kind of cute here. So um, EU's kind of start to support Taiwan is back to like a few years before, like start at like maybe 2020, and the reason why is because they understand how is a communism country well brings to giving in the emergency stuff. So during the Russo-Ukrainian conflict, so because a lot of countries, like I would say, every country in the world is trying to invent like sensation Russia, including the EU. So for response, Russia decided to shut down the gas export and the pipeline that goes through to the Europe, and which is extremely hard for the uh European country because like their gas export is like coming like 70% from Russia, so which is a really huge amount. So they realize that how dominant single suppliers such as Russia, and they are a communism country, is gonna hurt the economy really well when the conflict starts. So as we know, everybody know, China is a communism country, and that is why we are trying to avoid the conflict between this. And there are a few of the other countries such as Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. This country emphasizes Taiwan values, role in public health, inflation safety, and global partnership. So this is not kind of really important because they didn't really